Papua New Guinea captivates with raw beauty and rich traditions, offering an adventure few places can match. This documentary invites you to explore its wild landscapes and vibrant, untouched cultural spirit. Community and clan connections are important for Papua New Guinean women. For many Papua New Guinean women, dating is not simply a private relationship between two individuals, but a connection that naturally extends to their wider community and clan. In much of the country, family and clan networks remain the foundation of social life, and any serious relationship is expected to honor these ties. When a couple begins to spend time together, relatives often take notice early, offering guidance, advice, and sometimes formal introductions. Elders and parents may play a quiet but influential role, ensuring that the relationship aligns with family expectations and respects long-standing customs. These community connections bring both warmth and responsibility. A woman's clan provides support and protection, but it also means that her partner is entering into a broader social agreement. Respecting elders, observing local traditions, and showing genuine interest in family life are often seen as essential signs of commitment. In rural areas, it is common for dating to include communal gatherings, festivals, church events, or village celebrations, where the couple interacts with extended relatives. Such settings allow the partner to demonstrate reliability and character in front of the people who matter most to her. Even in cities like Port Moresby, where Western-style dating is becoming more common, the influence of community remains strong. Many Papua New Guinean women balance modern independence with these deep-rooted values, seeking partners who appreciate the importance of family bonds. For outsiders or locals alike, building trust with the clan can be as meaningful as winning the woman's heart. A respectful approach, learning about her traditions, participating in family events, and honoring elders signals that the relationship is serious and culturally aware. In Papua New Guinea, love and community are intertwined, and understanding this connection is key to a lasting, harmonious partnership. Land of languages. In Papua New Guinea, every valley and village seems to have its own voice. With over 850 distinct languages spoken across the country, it is the most linguistically diverse place on Earth. This means that two neighboring communities, separated by only a river or a mountain, may not understand each other at all. The sheer variety is staggering, ranging from small village dialects with only a few hundred speakers to widely used regional tongues that bind entire provinces together. Language here is not just a means of communication, but a living symbol of identity, culture, and belonging. This extraordinary diversity has roots in the land itself. Papua New Guinea is a country of rugged mountains, deep valleys, and dense rainforests that have naturally divided communities for centuries, allowing languages to evolve independently. Isolation meant that each group developed unique traditions, oral stories, and vocabularies shaped by their environment. Some languages are tonal, others use whistles or chants, and many have no written form at all. Together, they form a mosaic of human expression rarely seen anywhere else in the world. Yet, in modern Papua New Guinea, a shared voice was needed. Enter Tok Pisin, a lively pidgin English that has become the national lingua franca. It bridges the gaps between hundreds of tongues, allowing people from different regions to communicate. Still, the local languages thrive, spoken with pride in homes and villages. Each one carries centuries of wisdom, proving that Papua New Guinea's linguistic richness is a treasure as wild and enduring as its jungles. Tribes lost in time. High mountains cloaked in mist, and jungles so dense they seem impenetrable, created a natural fortress in Papua New Guinea, one that kept many tribes hidden from the outside world for centuries. Until the 20th century, entire communities lived in complete isolation, developing cultures untouched by colonial influence or global change. When explorers and gold prospectors finally stumbled into these hidden valleys, they were stunned to discover thriving societies with their own intricate traditions, laws, and ways of life that felt like a glimpse into humanity's distant past. The highlands, in particular, became famous for these lost tribes. Their daily lives revolved around subsistence farming, hunting, and elaborate social rituals that bound communities together. Brightly painted faces, feathered headdresses, and body decorations told stories of ancestry and power. Warfare between neighboring groups was common, but so were festivals filled with song, dance, and storytelling passed down through generations. The isolation meant that every tribe developed its own unique cultural fingerprint, encompassing languages, beliefs, art, and spiritual practices. Today, while roads, planes, and technology have connected Papua New Guinea to the modern world, many of these traditions remain intact. Festivals known as sing-sings still showcase the diversity of tribal life, where groups gather in a riot of color and music to celebrate identity. The tribes of Papua New Guinea may no longer be hidden, but they continue to carry the spirit of a world preserved in time, reminding us how varied and resilient human culture can be. Uncontacted peoples in Papua New Guinea. Deep in the tangled rainforests and rugged mountains of Papua New Guinea, there are still whispers of tribes who live completely beyond the reach of modern civilization. These uncontacted peoples, shielded by natural barriers and their own choice of isolation, have never encountered the outside world. They survive as their ancestors did centuries ago, hunting with bows and arrows, gathering wild foods, and cultivating small gardens in harmony with the land. For them, the world beyond their valleys is a mystery, and their way of life remains a secret to outsiders. Anthropologists and explorers believe dozens of such groups may still exist, hidden in remote corners of the island. Their languages are unknown, their customs unrecorded, and their belief systems preserved in pure oral tradition. While some evidence of their existence, such as smoke rising from forest clearings or abandoned hunting shelters, has been spotted, direct contact is often avoided. Not only could outside contact expose them to diseases they have no immunity against, but it could also disrupt the delicate balance of their traditional lives. In this way, they remain humanity's last untouched communities. The uncontacted peoples of Papua New Guinea embody a paradox of curiosity and respect. On one hand, they ignite the imagination. What myths, songs, and stories do they carry? On the other hand, they remind us of the importance of leaving some mysteries intact. In a world racing toward globalization, these hidden tribes stand as living time capsules, quietly preserving the most ancient human rhythms. Life off the grid. In Papua New Guinea, life unfolds far from the hum of highways and the glow of city lights. More than 80% of the population lives in small, scattered villages, tucked into valleys, perched on mountainsides, or nestled along winding rivers. These communities often have no paved roads, no electricity, and no running water, yet they thrive with a rhythm that has remained steady for generations. Daily survival revolves around the land, with families cultivating sweet potatoes, taro, and bananas in carefully tended gardens, while hunting and fishing provide essential protein. The absence of modern infrastructure doesn't mean a lack of richness in life. Instead, these villages pulse with social bonds and traditions that cities rarely replicate. Evenings are spent around fires, where elders share stories that preserve history and myth, and children learn skills by watching their parents at work. Community is everything. Neighbors share food, labor, and protection, ensuring that survival is a collective effort. In many places, the sound of drums or bamboo flutes still marks ceremonies, and ancient dances echo under the stars. Without the distractions of technology, human connection takes center stage. Yet life off the grid is not without challenges. Medical care can be days away. Schools are often simple huts with limited supplies, and communication with the outside world is rare. Still, there is resilience in this way of life. Papua New Guineans in remote villages live close to nature, sustaining a balance between need and resource, tradition and survival, reminding the modern world of simpler, enduring ways of living. Ring of Fire. Papua New Guinea sits on the infamous Pacific Ring of Fire, a restless belt of geological power where continents grind and clash beneath the sea. Here, more than 200 volcanoes rise across the landscape, many still active, shaping a country as dramatic as it is dangerous. Towering peaks like Mount Ulawun spew smoke into the sky, while Tavurvur, near Rabaul, has erupted multiple times within living memory, turning day into night with its ash clouds. These fiery mountains are both feared and revered, powerful reminders of the Earth's untamed energy. The presence of so many volcanoes has carved landscapes that look otherworldly. Lava flows have created fertile soils where lush rainforests thrive, while volcanic craters now brim with lakes of shimmering blue. Entire coastlines bear the scars of ancient eruptions, with black sand beaches and twisted rock formations telling stories of fire and upheaval. In some places, hot springs bubble from the ground, and geysers hiss in hidden valleys, giving travelers the sense of walking across a living, breathing earth. For the people of Papua New Guinea, volcanoes are woven into both daily life and spiritual belief. They provide rich soils for crops, yet pose a constant risk to the villages at their base. Communities have rebuilt again and again after eruptions, embodying resilience against nature's fury. To live in PNG is to live in the shadow of fire, where danger and beauty intertwine, and where the land itself seems alive with restless energy. Tree kangaroos, Papua New Guinea. High in the emerald canopies of Papua New Guinea's rainforests, a strange and enchanting creature makes its home: the tree kangaroo. Unlike their ground-hopping cousins of Australia, these marsupials have adapted to life among the branches, moving with surprising grace as they climb, leap, and balance like monkeys. With their long tails, strong limbs, and thick plush fur, tree kangaroos are perfectly built for an arboreal lifestyle, making them one of the most unusual animals in the world. There are several species of tree kangaroos in Papua New Guinea, each living in different pockets of dense jungle. Some are striking in color, with golden coats and reddish fur, while others blend into the deep greens and browns of the forest. They feed on leaves, fruits, and flowers, quietly foraging high above the forest floor where few predators can reach. Spotting one is a rare privilege, as their shy nature and remote habitats keep them hidden from most human eyes. For local tribes, these animals are part of traditional lore, often featured in myths and hunting stories passed down through generations. Sadly, tree kangaroos face threats from habitat loss and hunting, placing many species on the endangered list. Conservation efforts are working to protect them, highlighting their importance not only as a natural wonder, but as a symbol of Papua New Guinea's extraordinary biodiversity. Papua New Guinea, a crocodile nation. Along the mighty Sepik River in Papua New Guinea, ancient reptiles glide just beneath the surface, their eyes barely breaking the water. This is crocodile country, where both saltwater and Papuan crocodiles rule the waterways. Stretching for over 1,100 kilometers, the Sepik is a lifeline for countless villages. Yet it is also home to these formidable predators that command both fear and reverence. Their presence is woven into the daily rhythm of river life, shaping how people fish, travel, and settle along the banks. For the tribes of the Sepik, crocodiles are more than animals. They are sacred beings. In many communities, men undergo an initiation ritual where their skin is cut with hundreds of small incisions, leaving scars that resemble the scales of a crocodile. This painful rite marks the passage into adulthood, symbolizing strength, resilience, and a spiritual bond with the river's most feared creatures. Carvings, masks, and totems featuring crocodile imagery are common, decorating spirit houses that stand at the heart of village life. The crocodile is not just a predator, it is a guardian and a teacher. Despite their fearsome reputation, crocodiles remain vital to the ecosystem, keeping the waterways in balance. Fishermen watch the ripples carefully, sharing the river with these silent hunters, while children are taught respect for their power from an early age. In the Sepik region, humans and crocodiles live in a delicate coexistence, one defined by awe, caution, and centuries of tradition passed down along the Great River. Sing Sing spectacle in Papua New Guinea. In Papua New Guinea, festivals burst into life with the spectacular tradition of the Sing Sing, a gathering where tribes come together in an explosion of color, sound, and movement. Villagers transform themselves with vibrant body paint, elaborate feathered headdresses, and intricate face masks, each design carrying deep cultural meaning. The air fills with the beat of drums, the rhythm of chants, and the stamping of feet as dancers move in unison, bringing to life ceremonies that have been performed for centuries. It is a living theater of tradition, where every feather and every step tells a story of identity and belonging. What makes the Sing Sing extraordinary is its diversity. Papua New Guinea is home to hundreds of tribes, each with its own language, music, and style of dance. During a Sing Sing, these differences are not hidden but proudly displayed. One group might mimic the flight of birds with sweeping movements, while another performs fierce warrior dances meant to showcase strength. The festival becomes a kaleidoscope of cultures, a place where tribes that were once isolated come together to celebrate both their uniqueness and their shared heritage. For outsiders, attending a Sing Sing feels like stepping into another world, but for locals, it is an essential part of community life. These gatherings are more than entertainment. They are rituals of unity, peace, and pride. They remind younger generations of their roots, while offering visitors a glimpse into the soul of Papua New Guinea, a land where tradition still beats like a drum under the tropical sun. Hidden valleys in Papua New Guinea. In the 1930s, a group of Australian gold prospectors hacked their way through the rugged highlands of Papua New Guinea, expecting to find nothing but jungle and empty wilderness. Instead, they stumbled upon a revelation: vast, hidden valleys teeming with life, where millions of people had been living in isolation for centuries. To the outside world, these valleys were unknown, untouched by modern influence, yet they were home to thriving communities with sophisticated farming systems, social structures, and traditions as old as the land itself. The discovery stunned the world. Here were tribes cultivating sweet potatoes in neatly terraced gardens, raising pigs as prized possessions, and practicing rituals that blended daily survival with deep spiritual meaning. Their isolation had allowed unique cultures and languages to flourish undisturbed. For the prospectors, it was like stepping back into a Stone Age world, villages where stone tools were still used, and oral storytelling carried history from one generation to the next. What seemed primitive to outsiders was, in reality, a self-sufficient way of life, perfectly adapted to the environment. Today, many of those hidden valleys are connected to the wider world, but echoes of their discovery still linger. Some communities continue to preserve ancient traditions, while others have blended them with modern life. The story of these valleys is not just about being discovered, it is about resilience, adaptation, and the reminder that even in the 20th century, vast human worlds remained unseen, tucked away in the folds of Papua New Guinea's mountains. Ocean riches in Papua New Guinea. Beneath the turquoise waters surrounding Papua New Guinea lies a world more vibrant than imagination. The country sits at the heart of the Coral Triangle, the richest marine ecosystem on the planet, where over 600 species of coral and more than 2,000 species of reef fish flourish. From tiny jewel-like nudibranchs to massive manta rays gliding gracefully through the currents, the diversity is staggering. Every reef is alive with color and motion, forming one of Earth's last great underwater Edens. The Coral Triangle doesn't just dazzle divers, it sustains life above the water too. Coastal communities depend on its bounty, fishing sustainably for generations and weaving marine traditions into their cultural fabric. The reefs act as natural barriers, protecting villages from storms while providing food, medicine, and even spiritual inspiration. In Papua New Guinea, the ocean is more than scenery. It is a living partner in survival, a provider whose health directly shapes human life. For explorers, Papua New Guinea offers some of the world's most extraordinary underwater experiences. Divers descend into coral gardens where sharks patrol, dolphins play, and sea turtles glide serenely. World War II wrecks rest quietly beneath the waves, now transformed into artificial reefs brimming with marine life. Yet these riches are fragile, threatened by climate change and overfishing. Protecting them means safeguarding not just one country's treasure, but a global wonder. The ocean around Papua New Guinea is a reminder of how deeply life depends on the sea, a dazzling frontier still full of secrets. Kokoda Track holds a lot of significance. Winding through Papua New Guinea's rugged Owen Stanley Range, the Kokoda Track is more than a trail. It is a living monument to endurance, sacrifice, and history. Stretching over 90 kilometers of dense jungle, steep ridges, and treacherous river crossings, it challenges even the fittest of trekkers today. But in 1942, this path became the stage for one of the most brutal campaigns of World War II, where Australian and Japanese forces clashed in a desperate struggle for control of the Pacific. The battle along the Kokoda Track was fought not only against the enemy, but also against the jungle itself. Soldiers endured torrential rains, choking humidity, and relentless disease as they pushed through the mud and mountains. Malaria and exhaustion claimed almost as many lives as bullets. The local Papuan villagers, later called the Fuzzy Wuzzy Angels, played a heroic role, carrying supplies and evacuating wounded soldiers through impossible terrain. Their quiet bravery remains one of the most enduring legacies of the campaign. Today, the Kokoda Track draws adventurers and history seekers from around the world. To walk its length is to step back in time, retracing the footsteps of young soldiers who fought with unimaginable grit. Along the way, plaques and memorials mark the sacrifices made, turning the jungle into a vast open-air museum. The Kokoda Track is not just a hike. It is a journey through courage, hardship, and remembrance, where nature and history intertwine in unforgettable ways. Sepik Spirit Houses in Papua New Guinea. Rising above the riverbanks like guardians of tradition, the Sepik Spirit Houses are the heart of cultural life, along Papua New Guinea's mighty Sepik River. These towering, elaborately decorated structures are not ordinary buildings. They are sacred spaces where spirits dwell, where ancestors are honored, and where the wisdom of generations is passed on. Every carving, mask, and totem adorning the spirit houses tells a story, linking the living to the unseen world, and reinforcing the bond between people, nature, and the supernatural. Inside, the atmosphere is thick with mystery and reverence. Men gather here to conduct rituals, initiate young boys into adulthood, and commune with ancestral spirits. The carvings that line the interiors, often depicting crocodiles, birds, and mythic beings, are believed to embody protective forces. Each village has its own artistic style, yet all reflect a common belief in the interconnectedness of life and the power of the spirit realm. Women and children are usually barred from entering, adding to the sense of secrecy and sacredness surrounding these houses. For travelers, the spirit houses offer a glimpse into one of the world's most intact and profound cultural traditions. They are not just monuments of wood and paint, but living centers of faith and identity, where ancient practices continue to shape daily life. To stand before one is to witness a timeless expression of art and spirituality, a reminder that in the Sepik, culture flows as deeply and enduringly as the river itself. Living Museum. Ancient Traditions. In Papua New Guinea, the rhythm of life feels like stepping back in time, where ancient traditions are not relics of the past, but vibrant parts of everyday existence. Across remote villages and highland valleys, people still practice customs that have remained largely unchanged for centuries. From elaborate body paint and feathered headdresses to rituals honoring ancestors and spirits, these traditions serve as living threads connecting communities to their roots. Instead of fading under the pressures of modernity, they endure, woven into daily life with pride and purpose. Ceremonies, songs, and dances passed down through generations remain powerful expressions of identity. A village gathering might feature men drumming on kundu drums, while women chant in harmonies that echo through the forest. Masks carved from wood and adorned with shells represent spirit beings, while rituals performed in sacred spaces mark everything from harvests to initiations. These customs are not staged performances, but genuine continuations of beliefs that have shaped social life for countless generations. To the people of Papua New Guinea, tradition is not something to preserve in museums. It is lived, shared, and renewed. For visitors, the experience feels like entering a living museum, where every step reveals a world where ancient and modern coexist. Mobile phones may buzz in the hands of youths, yet elders still teach the same legends told around firelight centuries ago. In Papua New Guinea, heritage is not locked in glass cases. It breathes, dances, and thrives. Thanks for exploring Papua New Guinea's untamed wonders with us. If you loved this journey, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss our next travel documentary adventure.